Hello everyone. I decided to make this video a challenge for me. I will try my best to use only one brush. I will not be using any other brushes except for the base color, which shouldn't be really counted because it doesn't even affect the final product. And I'm pretty sure that after watching this video, you will never make the tiniest fuss about how you seem to never find the right brush. Because I've been that person. The moment I began using Procreate, I began complaining about how terrible the brush set was. I was blaming my lame artwork on the Procreate limited brush set, which was not limited at all. I just wasn't familiar with digital drawing in general. And my complaining about brush set was just me throwing a tantrum. I was so blind as to where my frustration was coming from, but slowly I began to see my shortcomings in a clear light. It became so vivid that I wasn't feeling the same about the Apple Pencil and the sense of drawing on iPad instead of graphite and paper, but I immediately got an idea. I thought to myself, if I could just do all of the things that I've done with paper before, like note-taking, reading, writing, and doodling digitally, then I would start to feel comfortable around my digital drawings too. It would become second nature and it wouldn't take me as much energy. And it worked. I started to see so much progress after shifting my entire intellectual life to digital format. And I don't think I will ever go back to traditional formats ever, because I need to focus deeply on digital and make it the new norm for me. So this video that you're seeing right now is the proof of that. I am only using the peppermint brush, which is available in Procreate, and you don't even need to purchase anything except the Procreate itself. And the question is, how am I able to do this? Well, I am using this brush to its fullest potential. Or not even that actually. I am trying to really get to know each and every brushes in Procreate and to use them to its fullest potential. And the reason that I have chosen the peppermint brush is that I can use it for different areas and it shows a high level of flexibility. The opacity of this brush is lower than any other pencil brushes and it kind of feels like a real pencil. It's much more forgiving when making a few mistakes while sketching, simply because you can put less pressure on it to make it more transparent. And after determining which line to go with, you can go over it and make it more visible. And I use this brush to sketch the texture of my paintings too, so my process looks like this. First, I try to get the best shape out of my rough sketches, and then I try to clean it up with erasing all of the unnecessary lines. And then I go on to add all the textures and details of my sketch. So here's a valuable tip. You should spend so much time and effort to make the sketch look really, really good so that it looks ready without even coloring it and then getting to the coloring process. That is not to say that you should become so rigid in your drawings, but you need to really get the structure of it right. Otherwise, no matter how much you try to strengthen it with coloring, it will still look skewed and not right. So don't skip over the sketching with the hope that you can enhance it in the coloring stage. And there's another reason for it too. If you're satisfied with your sketch, then you are absolutely motivated to do the coloring, and that motivation and joy to continue your drawing will affect your drawing in a great way. Also, you don't have to worry about the structure afterwards. But when you want to sketch in the first place, you don't need to start with a perfect shape and structure. You just have to draw basic shapes and build upon that slowly and strengthen it over time. The same goes for coloring too. You have to start mediocre and commence the process in a messy way, and then refine and strengthen it to achieve the final look. So it's so much easier to start with a terrible rough sketch and then enhance it over time, rather than to draw the full sketch line by line, which will stress you out and make the process so hard for you. When you allow those mistakes, you are giving yourself the creative freedom to find the right shape over time, and you will feel like you're in a flow state. Your connection to the drawing will increase and you will feel much more engaged, and that results in a mature look in your artwork. So don't try to get the drawing perfect perfect in the first stage of your process. Just build it up to that refined look over time. You don't really have to always end up with what you have pictured in your mind at the start. You can exceed beyond your expectation by just allowing yourself to be free and take on those creative sparks as you go. So if you're drawing original characters, you don't have to end up with the exact image that you have had planned out in the beginning. You can simply choose to change it if you think it's gonna look so much better. And that is exactly where you can find your style, by trying out new ideas and just going out of your comfort zone and trying different concepts and structures. But what really gives you your style is those messy starts. You start messy and then you find your own voice in that mess, because it's so much harder to stare at a blank page and not know what to do. But if you have some few shapes there, you can start seeing the rest of the process, because our mind needs an initiator for that creativity to come to us. So this is actually really tightly tied with the reason that I have limited myself to only one brush. When you have one thing to work on, your only focus is to make that thing work. You're not thinking that maybe there are better things out there, simply because there are nothing else. You are fully committed and your mind begins to focus on what matters, not all the unnecessary assets that will never do anything for you. And you will be amazed how this exercise can help you become a pro in drawing. You will become more confident in your ability to draw, and you'll not be reliant on the specific tools that you need. Because the truth be told, you don't need any fancy tools to make your drawings look good. You only need your knowledge and skill, which will build up over time, and there's no need for you to rush it. In fact, they're meant to come by incrementally, and the only way for you to accelerate the process is by practicing more freely and making a ton of mistakes. What you're noticing in my drawing is that I am changing the colors every so often. I am not really sure as to what color to go with. I just throw and see what sticks. And that really helped me so much, because even in one drawing, I get to experiment a lot with colors and get to see which combination of colors are more likely to produce a cohesive look. Because some colors are not meant for each other. They simply won't work together. They are like oil and water. But some other are so magnificent together. You can use this analogy that they're like the bread and butter. That's how compatible they are. And it's not really hard to spot them either. There's actually a scientific reason behind them, like warm colors and cool colors. If you only use warm color, your drawing will look so bland and lifeless. But if you combine these two together, it gives the drawing much more flavor. It makes the colors look vibrant and zesty, because then we know what is what. Our minds use comparison to identify everything. We are constantly using comparison to understand and absorb information around us. We have a base knowledge, and every new knowledge we consume are categorized and defined based on that base knowledge. Comparison is the only tool for concepts to exist. If I were to give you a food analogy, it would be when we make cookies. Even though we want the cookie to be sweet, we put a pinch of salt in the batter because it strengthens the sweetness. Because our mind uses comparison to identify the flavor too. And the same thing with a painting. If we want to achieve a warmer look, we need to put a pinch of cold into it. Otherwise, what is warm? If there was no cold, there would not have been any warm. If it was all good, then what is good? Okay, I am feeling like I get into the philosophy of things so easily, so it's just that I have made a huge mistake to study philosophy for a year. I am still into the habit of going to the core of things, which is really unnecessary here. My advice, don't study philosophy. So trying out new colors and finding your own style of coloring is key. What you should know is that when it comes to artistic styles, it's not only about the structure of your drawings, but it's more so about what colors you opt for. And what is your preferred color palette? This preference comes to you simply by developing your understanding of color. You need to look deeply into what color combination grabs your attention, and it's not necessarily in paintings or pictures that you will find your taste, but it's mostly gonna be developed by looking around you, what color combination you choose when it comes to your outfit and decorating your home, and what sort of colors you want the carpet to be in, etc. If you're not there yet, i.e., you don't have any specific preference when it comes to the colors of your outfit and the design of your surroundings, then you need to pay more attention when you go buy your clothes. It's not only going to improve your sense of artistic style, but it also will make you into a better dressed person, meaning you will grow your sense of fashion as well. For example, when I started to look more into my outfit and what color I preferred when I was choosing the outfit, I was like, I really saw myself choosing and opting for creamy and aesthetic and, cinematic colors that are so subtle but excellent together. It was like a new birth of artistic style for me. I got so into trying out all of the fascinating color combinations, and I came up with a pattern that I use in my drawings pretty much subconsciously now. Your style will become unconscious, and you don't really need to think twice about it. You just know exactly what to do when you're drawing. The first thing that you'll notice once you have developed your artistic style is this: you will not run out of ideas to doodle or draw in your free time. In any chance you get, you can whip up a piece of art. Because once you get the hang of drawing overall, it doesn't even matter what tools you're using. It's not ever going to hinder your creative work. You can use any brush or tool to make the most compelling piece of work. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video was useful to you in some ways and you learned something new today. I am going to be signing off. Give this video a thumbs up if you actually enjoyed it, as it actually helps the video to be seen. Thank you and have a nice week.